Hello and welcome to the FSF PopCast Live Edition. Hello, kids and cadets.
I love doing this. This is so much fun for me.
This is why I'm afraid every time your camera's turned off. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, kids and cadets, nerds of all ages, welcome to the FSF PopCast. We are... Yeah, okay.
We're going Muppet, so why not like a Muppet?
No, you're embracing it, and I love it. Welcome to our show. We're glad to have you here tonight. Want to remind you that this is the show where we thought adding ing to the end of movie titles was a good idea.
Sharknadoing. Night's Tale.
Exactly.
Jurassic Parking.
Star Warsing. Star
Trekking.
Trekking.
But T-Rex can't drive cars.
Sure they can. The steering wheel's just really close, and they have to have their head in the sunroof.
They drive with their knees. It's fine. As long as it's not a stick shift, they'll be good to go.
Star Wars.
Or they have the really extended. They have the really extended steering column. You know.
Oh goodness.
I got a big head, little arms. Can't figure out how to drive a car. Anyway.
Well, before we get into tonight's show, let's say our thanks to our show partners, Level Up Sabers.
All right, let's roll that beautiful nerd footage. And you guys see that beautiful link. Click, buy a lightsaber, have a blast with a lightsaber. Because I'm fun. Also, when I'm dancing, I'm over here dancing during the Level Up Sabers, and my hair flaps, and it was very entertaining. Guess whose antidepressants are working?
I was like, I was like, is there a Truly on your desk?
No, I should have grabbed one. I might need to go back for one.
Yes, that is. Well, the Rainbow Road is a difficult, or one of the more difficult races in Mario Kart. So
have we all? Okay, I don't know about our guests in the back yet, so I won't say anything. But
I haven't watched the movie yet either. So
okay.
Oh my goodness, peaches, 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 peaches. Sorry.
I mean, I've seen that bit because it's all over the interwebs. And former guest John Mandelli did a cover of it.
Oh my gosh, I love his cover of it.
Yeah, and I shared that to our Facebook page. That was pretty fantastic. So,
there's a direction.
Oh, we have that. But so we want to remind everybody to take a moment, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the show. There's a little button down there. Click it once, and you guys get to subscribe to us, and join in on all the fun and craziness that we're having here on our YouTube channel, and see all the great interviews that we have coming up, and ones that we've already done, including with somebody that's in our back room. They're waiting to come on. We're going to talk to them in a minute. You'll be very excited about that. I'm very excited about that. It'll be great fun. But we also want to remind you that we do have a Patreon page. You see it down there at the bottom. If you haven't joined the Patreon page, there it is. It's down in the show notes down below. You can click that link, and there's all kinds of cool things that you can see. There's bloopers. Trust me, I donate often to the blooper section. There are bonus contents, behind the scene content information, and there is, of course, a Patreon exclusive. We are doing episode by episode review of the Stargate universe. We're currently in season 1 of SG1 and talking about that. We've done 3 episodes, and the 4th is getting ready to get posted here shortly. So it'll be a lot of fun for you if you haven't done that. And there are 5 levels on the Patreon channel if you are interested. 5 levels. They go from $1 to $40, and they have ranging perks and cool things that you can get, including some exclusive FSF merch that comes free with your subscription after a certain number of months, and they just get sent to you for free. You don't have to pay anything more for it. So Kathleen's face curtain looks amazing. Oh, the hair that flopped down. Yes.
88
There we go.
cents on Timu.
I had to think about that for a second. I'm like, face curtain. Oh, yeah. The hair.
By the way,
Okay.
Tim,
Yes. There it is.
I had that one. You mentioned it, and then it sounded good.
Well, sometimes I have good ideas.
You do, like marrying Shayna.
That was
a good
best,
idea.
That was the best idea. In case you're listening to this, honey, you're hot.
Being my friend is still a good idea. Questionable, but good.
Questionable, yes. Well, it's questionable for all of us. It is what it is.
All right, shall we bring our guest in?
We should, yes, because they're very patiently waiting in the back room, and we should probably do something about that.
And you're just talking and talking.
It's kind of my jam. It's what I do.
It's kind of why we're here.
Yeah, I know.
It's what I'm not getting paid to do.
Well, let's welcome our guest to the show, writer, voice actor, and podcaster, Sarah Rhea-Werner.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey.
Oh, you're on.
Oh, that was embarrassing. So hi.
That's okay.
How are you guys doing? Thank you for having me on the show. I'm so excited to be here.
We are thrilled to have you. So, yeah, we haven't had you on the show since episode 4 when you were on the show.
Has it been that long?
It has
It
been.
doesn't feel like that long.
I was going to say way before I was.
Yeah, so you were our fourth episode, our fourth interview, and Friday we released episode 131.
Oh my gosh, congrats. That's amazing. Congrats.
No one's arguing with you, John. It's okay.
So
and then we have one more waiting in the wings for us. And I did not ask Danielle how to pronounce her last name. And so I'm assuming it's
artist and sci-fi enthusiast, Danielle Pajak.
We'll see how close we were.
Danielle, last name to be filled in.
Hi, Danielle.
Yeah, it's Pajak.
Hey, not too bad, Nick. You were pretty close.
Yeah,
very workable. Very workable. All right, so hey, before we get into our topic for tonight, we're going to give you guys an opportunity to let everybody know who you guys are, even though we just kind of introduced you and all. But give it an opportunity to let people know who you are, where they can find you, and why they should be following you. What are you doing out there that people should be following you for? Danielle, we'll start with you since we brought you in second.
Okay. I'm a graphic designer, illustrator, creative writer. I like to do a lot of art and film analysis. I'm very much about unraveling those deeper layers especially in cinema. I love film so much. Just the ideas and the concepts and the emotions, and tying them to bigger ideas of existence, and those bigger questions of why we're here.
Okay.
That's why I love science fiction, because that's the genre that really explores those bigger ideas. So that's what I do, and I really like. On my Twitter, I do a lot of threads. Exploring, films like Dune. I really love film Dune. And so, yeah, I draw in like religious themes and philosophical themes. And that's like my passion in both my writing and my art.
Fantastic. All right. Very good. Now, your Twitter handle is actually shared down in the show notes down below.
Oh, cool.
I follow Danielle. She's a lot of fun. And I strongly suggest you guys go give her a follow on Twitter. And she also has a Patreon channel that you can get to through her Twitter channel as well. Yeah. And so she's got some really reasonable subscription rates over there and some cool stuff that you can get. So you might want to check her out on that and get some cool custom artwork.
Yeah, and if you go on my website, dpillustrations.com, you can also get links to my writer pages like Substack and Medium accounts. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Very good. All right, Sarah, tell everybody about the awesomeness of Sarah Rhea-Werner.
I don't know if I'm qualified to do that, but I'll try my best. Hi, I'm Sarah Rhea-Werner. I am a writer, voice actor, and podcaster, currently living in South Dakota. So, kind of space. Let's see. You can find out more about me over at sarahwerner.com. That's SARAHWERNER.com. And let's see. I want to say I talked about this when I appeared on episode 4 of your show, apparently, which still blows my mind. I am the writer, creator, executive producer of the science fiction audio drama Girl in Space, as well as the executive producer of the new fantasy show Omen, which my husband Tim creates. So just a lot going on. I'm working on a book right now. I'm working on season 2 of Girl in Space. I'm doing some teaching and some speaking and just all the things. Yeah, so my website should have everything. I also send out a weekly newsletter that usually comes out monthly. And that's called Dear Creators, and you could subscribe to that on my website, again, over at sarahwerner.com.
Did you just say that you have a weekly newsletter that comes out monthly?
Yes.
God, I love that.
Makes sense to me.
Best intentions, right?
Oh, that's fantastic. No, I was kind of looking down at something in my notes, and you said that. I was like, did I just... I did. Okay. Very good.
Right, yeah.
It totally makes sense to me, though. Like, we have been talking about the potential of a newsletter. And when Tim said, initially, he's like, well, let's do it bi-weekly. I'm like, can we try monthly? I feel like that's a better option for us.
It probably is.
When he's
realistically.
do you want to start writing stuff? I'm like, monthly? Sure.
Well, it's the whole, you have a 4-year-old, we each have families. Yeah. And, there's real life and jobs and all these other things. Got to be realistic in expectations.
I have a 44-year-old.
Yeah, there's a lot of 4s over at your house.
Artist.
Whole lot of 4s. So it is what it is. All right. So for tonight, we have a topic, and I sent you guys all the information as to what we're trying to do tonight. So for you playing the home version of the FSF PopCast, what we're going to do tonight is we are going to Muppetize a movie. So what that means is each of us has picked out a movie. Now, none of us knows what the other people have picked. But if by chance we have picked the same movie, it doesn't matter, because the chances are we're going to see things a little bit differently, and we're going to have assigned different Muppets into different roles. And that's kind of the fun of it. And, honestly, Jason, I'm like a week away from that anyway. So what's the difference?
My van is very comfy.
Exactly. It's awesome.
And almost paid off.
That's even better. So Evil Dead with Muppets, Fozzie is Edge. Exactly. See, Jason gets the idea. There we go. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking different movies. We're going to insert Muppets into each of the character slots, save one. You have to have one human character in the movie. It doesn't matter who the human is, but there must be one human in the movie. And we just want to talk about how that affects the whole story. And, if you have reasons as to why you put this particular person or this particular Muppet into the movie, then, tell us, and, that'll make it more fun. So, okay. Sorry. Nick was adding notes into the document for his stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, what is that? Okay. I was very confused for a second.
That person's not on our show.
Well, exactly. And I'm reading that going, I mean,
does Nick know something I don't?
Right. I'm like, I'd be totally cool with those guys being on the show, but they're not currently. But okay. Let's see. Is it possible for someone to choose a movie that's already been Muppetized? Sure, absolutely. But as long as you make changes to it. So
Re-Muppetizing?
Re-Muppetizing a Muppetization. That would have been a reverse Muppetization. That would be interesting.
So, oh my gosh.
And again, Jason gets it. Stick to the script, Nick. Anyway,
there's a script.
No, there's not.
That's literally what the Google document is.
That's what Jason calls our Google document, because golly, by darn, we like notes.
Do we, or have our notes been forced upon us?
Yes, to both.
We're gonna like it.
I like notes, and
yes,
so yeah, you like notes because I like notes. You don't have to use the document. It's just put out there for you. All right. So I was requested to go first. So I'm going to go first with my movie selection. And I picked the 1985 cult classic Clue.
Oh, awesome.
Oh.
So I picked this movie because it already has a Tim Curry in it.
Yeah.
Essential.
And in my opinion, Tim Curry is essential to any Muppet movie. He makes the movie.
Yeah.
And in fact, in the movie Clue would not be nearly as entertaining if it didn't have a Tim Curry. They could have gotten anybody to be the butler in that movie, but without Tim Curry, that movie is not as fun or entertaining as it was. So that means starting off at the top, our butler Wadsworth stays as Tim Curry,
as he should.
Yeah.
So Mrs. White is going to be Miss Piggy, because I thought, who else could be Madeline Kahn other than Miss Piggy?
That's true.
Because Madeline Kahn, I always loved Madeline Kahn. I loved her in, if you have never seen History of the World Part 1.
Oh, she's literally the best.
Oh God, yes. Yeah. Her yeah. Anyway, I'll just leave it at that. But go check that out. It's adorable. So Miss Scarlet will be Janice. Yeah. Miss
totally.
Peacock. Yeah. Miss Peacock will be Camilla the chicken. Because in the movie, Camilla, or not Miss Camilla, but Miss Peacock has this big headdress thing on. And it's kind of flopping all around the place during the movie. I'm like, who better to have a headdress than a chicken? Because that's going to flop around anyway. So some of these are kind of obvious. Mr. Green.
Kermit.
Oh,
going to be Kermit. Has to be Kermit.
Yeah.
Plus, I just thought that Michael McKean's character and Kermit's characterization of that, could go pretty hand in hand.
Yeah.
Professor Plum would be Beaker.
Yeah.
And Colonel Mustard, because he's a colonel, has to be Sam Eagle.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Except for the difference is now in Colonel Mustard in the movie is a little wimpish, a little withdrawn, and the way that Richard Mull plays him. But Sam Eagle would totally be like, I'm a colonel.
Aggressively, yes.
Well, I mean,
aggressively militarization of his.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the characterization of the Muppets, like making it the opposite of that character, can add that hilarity to it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking. And that's why I wanted Camilla the chicken for Miss Peacock. That's why I wanted Sam Eagle for. I'm sorry, I started laughing. I saw one of the comments just come through. That's why I picked Sam Eagle.
Oh, no.
I don't know if they did. I mean, it's entirely possible. But that was unexpected, and that caught my attention and made me laugh. So, Scott Timmy 737, thank you for my evening laugh. I do appreciate it. Let's see, Mr. Body. I want it to be Gonzo. Now, because if you watch in the movie, Mr. Body, he's got like gangster white and black wingtip shoes on and everything. And I've seen Gonzo wear white and black, wingtip shoes and kind of try to look like a gangster and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just like, oh yeah, that's Gonzo right there. Just especially when he freaks out, tries to run out the door and he can't get out and all these different things. I just thought it was perfect. The cook, any guesses as to who's going to be the cook?
Oh.
Has to be Swedish Chef.
Yeah.
Okay. And my last character that I'm switching over, the maid, Yvette. I did this because it made me laugh while I was thinking about it. And so I was like, well, if it makes me laugh, maybe it'll make somebody else laugh. I switched it to Ralph.
Oh, I really love that, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
watch.
Now, the reason being, in the beginning of the movie, every time somebody comes in the door, they're smelling for dog poop. And Ralph the dog, being there, everybody's kind of like trying to figure out, and they're like looking at the bottom of the shoes and everything. I'm like, how fitting would it be to that, the maid is, a dog, and
Yeah.
everyone's smelling the dog poo.
Literally
So,
perfect.
Yeah.
And one other reason why I want Tim Curry as the only human, because I love the idea of having Curry interpret for the nonverbal guests. So like
Mm.
Camilla the chicken,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Swedish Chef, or him having to interpret what they're saying, but doing it like Deadpool fourth wall break style.
Oh my gosh.
And like just like turning to the camera and going, well, what she was really saying was, and just things like that. And to me, that also was very entertaining. The concept of getting fourth wall breaks in a Muppet movie. I don't know. So
I want there to
But
be
yeah.
like extra level of the fact that Tim Curry knows that he's the only human somehow, because he's like realizing he's done this before. He has this horrible knowledge of having done this in Muppet Treasure Island.
Oh
and
yeah.
he's like as a butler with these people.
I wouldn't even mind it if they played off it, if this were to be able to be done, and I know that Tim Curry has some health challenges now and things like that, but if this could have been done before those health challenges, I think it would have been fantastic to have Tim Curry acknowledge the fact that this movie has already been done and that they're rebooting it with Muppets, and he's like, here I am again, but with furry things or whatever, however he chose to acknowledge it, but acknowledge the fact that we've done this before. And I just kind of play into that. So
Love it.
But that was my pick, Clue from 1985.
I would watch it. I love it.
Would watch, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yay!
Like, as you were describing it, I was like, I could have sworn I have seen that movie, because it just fits so well, and I think it should be done.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I'll take that. Yay, me. Okay. All right. Sarah, we have you on schedule to go next.
Oh, this is exciting and unexpected and delightful. Okay, so I spent some time thinking about this, and I was going to initially go for a science fiction movie, as this is the funny science fiction live show. And so that kind of like helped me narrow it down, because I was having a real challenge, like, thinking of all the movies in the entire universe. What else would I Muppetize? Because there's just, there's so many. And my initial thought was going to be The Fifth Element. But then I realized The Fifth Element is basically already a Muppet movie. So instead, I switched gears, and I decided that it would be really, really fun to see the Muppets. Are you okay?
I will never be able to see The Fifth Element the same way again, but yeah, I'm fine.
But like, think of it, right? Like Bruce Willis is like essentially, the only like straight man, and everybody else is just a wacky person in a costume. But yeah,
There's Ruby Red. You're not wrong.
My pick is 2009's Star Trek.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I hope nobody else picked this one.
No.
But I chose this because as I was narrowing it down to movies, I wanted something with a strong ensemble cast, because the Muppets all work well and they play off each other so well. And again, there are so many great movies like The Fifth Element that wouldn't change a whole lot if they were inhabited by Muppets, because they already are a Muppet movie. And so I was like, what's something that's a great drama and that people love and relate to that we could fill with puppets? So that's my movie choice.
Okay.
For tonight. And as far as like populating it with Muppets, I feel like there are traditional Muppet roles. Like Kermit would, of course, be Kirk, and Miss Piggy would be Uhura, and exactly. And you know what? I wanted Beaker to do something, and I didn't assign him anything. But Dr. Honeydew, I would have be McCoy.
Nice.
And I was thinking of Grover Grover. Oh my gosh, I meant to say Gonzo, but you know what? Maybe there's a role in there for Grover too. I was thinking of Gonzo is Spock because I just liked that energy.
Mhm.
Young Spock or Spock, however they refer to them. And for the human role, I was I know he has passed away, but I would have loved for Leonard Nimoy to play the human Spock or the Vulcan Spock that shows up in the movie. I think that that would just be such a great role, and I would have loved to see him interact with the Muppets. I think that would be really, really sweet and special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like and the more I think about it, I'm like, wow, that never happened. Okay,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, since he is no longer with us, I would simply put Tim Curry in the role of Spock.
I mean, it's
I
Tim
love
Curry.
that.
Where can
I
you go
mean,
wrong?
seriously. So yeah, so that's I feel like that's my pick, and I feel like if that was coming to a theater near me, I would attend.
Yeah, that's awesome. Gonzo as Spock. That's
Who would you-
extreme chaotic energy.
I know, and it's I love the dichotomy there between like Vulcan and then
Yeah.
And then Gonzo, which is like
who's
over
literally insane. Yeah.
yeah.
I would
No,
put
that's
Beaker in as Chekhov.
Pardon?
Oh,
I would do Beaker as Chekhov.
Oh, that's perfect.
yeah.
who would you put in as Scotty?
Oh, yeah.
Scooter?
Scooter
Or did
would
you
be
already say
good.
Scooter?
I have not said Scooter
How
yet.
about Fozzie?
Oh, Fozzie would be good. I feel like Fozzie is necessary. Let's
Yeah.
have Fozzie as Scotty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Scooter, but he always seems like such a diminished little character in the face of everyone else's giant personalities. Like, I feel like he wouldn't hold up. That was a sad note to end that on.
He doesn't have it for Starfleet.
Yeah. He might have like a little bit part and show up in the background, maybe at that bar in the beginning, or
Right.
something else. But yeah. So yeah.
All right.
Guardian.
Well,
I like it.
I love that idea.
So
that's
Scott
one of my
Timmy
favorite
says,
movies, so.
I know, Tim. There are literally puppets in the Fifth Element I saw pop up. Exactly.
so either choice is valid at this point. So yeah. We're going on wishful hopes anyway. So I mean, none of this is in reality. But I mean, I don't think so far any of us would be opposed to these realities if they were to happen. So
Exactly.
All right.
Then you literally could have pigs in space.
Oh, that's true.
That would be fantastic. As
Oh my
long as it's not Muppets in space, and that needs to be reworked.
Yeah. Oh, it has so much potential.
So, did we all pick Tim Curry as our token human? I don't know. I think
No, I did not.
I did
I know.
not.
I was gonna say, so far we did like 2 out of 2 so far.
Well,
I
I know
still
that
don't-
Nick didn't because I can see all of Nick's notes. So, so we did not all pick Tim Curry. So I think we'll be just fine there. All right, Kathleen. Good job, Sarah. I liked your
Thank
pick.
you.
Well
Thank you.
done.
So
All right, Kathleen, share us.
I again I have like 900 options, but I did lower it down to 1 somehow. I chose one of my favorite movies of all time, movie that I will watch whenever I can. 2001's A Knight's Tale.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have decided though that only Count Adhemar is human. So Rufus Sewell is the only human. So we have Will as Kermit, Jocelyn as Miss Piggy, which I mean, again, those just make sense.
Mhm.
I decided that Roland is Fozzie, Watt is Gonzo, Chaucer is Rizzo,
Oh.
the gamblers, so Simon the Summoner, and I don't remember what the other one's name is at this point, they are Beaker and Bunsen. Jocelyn's handmaid is actually Camilla the chicken. Prince Edward is Sam the eagle. And Kate the blacksmith is Rolf. It was a close tie between Rolf and Animal, because I was going either way with either Rolf, who's so underappreciated, or Animal, who is so flamboyant, and I didn't know which way I wanted to go with Kate's character.
Yeah.
But I decided Rolf as the blacksmith sounded like fun. Also, the idea of Rolf teaching Kermit how to dance was quite entertaining in my brain.
That's awesome. That's really cute.
I have to say though, I am honestly very surprised that you did not keep Alan Tudyk.
It was hard, but replacing him with Gonzo is kind of the same thing.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Oh.
It doesn't mean that Alan Tudyk couldn't suddenly be voicing Gonzo, but
Well, no.
I mean, he could be a chicken, so why not Gonzo?
Yeah.
Camilla the chicken love interest. It's just, write him in a secondary character. Make Gonzo incredibly jealous. It could be a thing.
Okay.
I think it could be a thing.
It could be your.
There it is. And Gonzo isn't a Joss Whedon apologist. So that's a plus.
Now, I mean, since we're already on the subject of Alan Tudyk, my second choice also involved Alan Tudyk, and I was going to recast Serenity and keep Alan Tudyk as the only human.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
You have my attention. I'm listening.
But then I'd still be really sad.
Okay, so in that one, is Zoe played by Camilla the chicken, so he could marry Camilla the chicken?
Can be.
And then his chicken character talks to another chicken character, and just
So much chicken love.
yeah.
The man
Chickens
went
all
to
the way down.
Juilliard. The man went to Juilliard. Voice.
To play a chicken.
And a toucan. He's the toucan in Encanto.
Yeah, he does. He does
Oh,
really
yeah.
good with birds. Just
Yeah.
saying. Actually, he does really good with whatever he chooses.
I
to
also
do.
think it's really fun that he is the Duke of Weaselton in Frozen, but then he's Duke Weaselton in Zootopia.
For real.
Mhm.
I
Interesting.
didn't even know that. That's
Yes,
hilarious.
he is the Duke of Weaselton. And then they
Wesselton and Weaselton. Interesting.
Yep. The things you
Okay.
learn when you watch a ridiculous number of Disney movies.
Well, you have
Totally
a 4-year-old,
because I have
so
a 4-year-old.
it tends to happen a little bit more.
Yeah.
John has a rotisserie chicken, so there's that.
I need more rotisserie chicken. That sounds good.
Exactly. And in behalf of Sarah, who for a very long time used to have a Wednesday night live show, and she would remind people at a certain point in the break to drink up, hydrate, don't dehydrate.
Oh, I love that.
My giant bottle of water. So there we go. Hydrate, don't dehydrate.
I'm good.
So
We're all so hydrated. I love this.
exactly. All right, very good, Kathleen.
By
I
the
like
end
it.
of the show, when we're all doing the pee-pee dance, it's your fault.
Oh, we'll be doing that in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, some of us make sure that is taken care of before we come on camera, but just because we're old, that's another point. To be honest, you also watch a ridiculous number of movies before we had a child, Kathleen, according to John. That would sound
Fair
weird
point.
with me reading it as John, but I want to make sure that it was noted as John.
It's totally a fair point.
So, yeah,
I love Disney
absolutely.
movies.
It's Disney. It's good stuff. All right, very good. Yeah, but now I want to know who all the rest is going to be on your Firefly.
Yeah, I'm not
Serenity
sure
cast.
yet.
So
It was really just I had decided I was going to keep Alan Tudyk, and I wasn't sure about the rest of it yet.
go ahead and circle back to me on that one. But yeah, I want to hear the rest of that one.
I'll work on it right
So.
now.
All right, sounds great. All right, Danielle. We're curious to see what you got.
Yeah. So my pick was Tenet.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I love Tenet. But I was just when I got this idea, I was like, now I want this so bad. But John David Washington would still be himself.
Okay.
Okay.
He would still be the protagonist. Kermit would be Neil. And I thought, he would be perfect for Neil because Neil is like the loyal friend he's with through the whole process, the friends across time. And then Miss Piggy is Kat, of course. And I love that because Miss Piggy always acts, she likes to pretend like she's like this beautiful damsel in distress, but she's like hardcore badass. And I love that for Kat because that's what Kat realizes is that, she is empowered to take ownership of her life and she's the one that saves herself. That's what we find out in the end of the film. So it was a perfect characterization for Miss Piggy. And then I picked Fozzie for Sador for the villain role. I just like the twist of Fozzie is like just ridiculous and stupid, and Sador, his role in the story is not important. He's like kind of he's being used by the future people for their own purposes. So Fozzie's perfect. He's like the stupid guy who's just being used there. And I like the idea that, he, in the Tenet, Sador is like this horrible, evil villain, and he's horrible to his wife and everything. But then I liked reversing that and Miss Piggy being more aggressive to him. And it would make for really funny moments. And then I picked Gonzo for the Priya Singh, who is the arms dealer that he meets. And then Sam the Eagle would be Michael Caine's role, of course.
Right.
Oh, awesome.
And of course, Speaker and Dr. Honeydew would be the Tenet scientist that he meets in the beginning.
Okay.
And then Boba the Bear would be the Tenet military commander at the end. And Tenet has like these perfect vignette moments with each of those characters, and it would be perfect for meeting this ensemble of the Muppets, and these perfect moments for skits. And even though I take Tenet very seriously, I also like the tongue-in-cheek humor of making fun of it. Making fun of like the people complained about the sound editing. There would be a lot of humor with the sound, like blowing out the sound, and just the complex time dynamics. I think that would be really hilarious for the Muppets to make fun of. But even with all this comedy, I still think that with each character in those roles, it would still keep the point and philosophical ideas that Christopher Nolan was making a point of. Christopher Nolan's, he has a very humanistic viewpoint, and it's a celebration of the human spirit. So I think that the Muppets really can embody that celebration, even the comedy with the more serious celebration of the human spirit. So I think it would be perfect, and I really wanted this after I thought it.
I think having the Muppets in more of a serious science fiction style story, actually would probably make it a little bit more palatable for those who found the movie confusing. Because and I think that actually allows it to be a more enjoyable experience. So I could see that being a thing. And then there's going to be some humor, but I think that you have the human to do to carry the heavy the heavier burdens of this, and there are times when Kermit can be serious, and we've seen that before on the Muppets and different things. So I don't think that's a bad pick. I think that's a good pick. I think it's something that could be interesting to watch, and has some layers of interest to it.
I thought so too.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, you guys did really good with this tonight. I like this. We have to do this again. This is fun.
That was fun.
We've had a couple games where we've done them, and or these type of things where we're like, well, I don't think we ever really need to do that one again. This is not one of them. This one I actually enjoy. Kathleen already knows what I'm talking about. Nick knows what I'm talking about. We're never doing Mad Libs again. That was an atrocious abomination. I didn't vet the Mad Libs, and there was a whole lot of adjectives, just like right in a row. Yeah, adjectives and adverbs, and it was like, sorry. So it's our guests did as best they could with the crap sandwich I handed.
I think it's only funny on Jimmy Fallon when they reenact it after
Oh
they
yeah,
put in all the words.
yeah, I remember that.
that could be entertaining, especially if we do it with a skit. Okay, now that actually might be a thing. We could take somebody else's script, take words out, change them out, redo it. That could be entertaining. See, that would be different though. All right, Nick, you are last up in this madness of Muppetization.
So I
Madness.
chose
Oh, yeah,
the movie Daddy's Home with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. And the human is going to be Linda Cardellini. She plays the mom,
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, that was the ex-wife and the new wife. Will Ferrell will be played by Fozzie the Bear. And
Accurate.
Yeah.
and then the son, the son that they have, I figured would be Scooter, and then the daughter could be Camilla, the chicken. And then so the scene, so Mark Wahlberg, I'm thinking should be Kermit.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I was like, should it be Kermit or should it be someone else? But like at first I had Ralph the dog to be him, but then I was like, maybe it should just be Kermit and make Kermit have this like attitude and be the rough and tough frog that he is.
Is
And
this
then-
the first one of this movie series, or is this the sequel, Daddy's Home?
First one.
The first one. Okay, sorry. Keep going, please.
So then, even though John Cena comes in at the end, I would have him be Sweetums, just because he's even bigger and badder. Thomas Hayden Church, I think, could be played by Ralph the dog. He kind of plays like the snarky boss
Mhm.
kind of thing. And I don't know, even though that's not necessarily Ralph's general style, I think it would be kind of funny to kind of see him be that kind of a style.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, that's cool.
that's all I've figured out. Like, there's other characters in the movie, but it's like,
There's a lot of smaller. The reason why I was asking is because if it was the sequel, I wanted to know who was going to be the dads, Mel Gibson, and
yeah, John
the other
Lithgow.
John Lithgow. Yeah, I was like, I know it's John. I just cannot remember the last name for the life of me for whatever reason. All right, but yeah, so you didn't do
You
the
know
sequel,
what?
so that's
They
fine.
need to be Walter and Standorf.
Rattler and Waldorf.
Yeah, those two.
I'm down for any time we can get the two old guys into something. I was disappointed that I couldn't figure out a way to work them into Clue, to be honest with you, because I really wanted to put them into Clue, but I couldn't figure it out.
Mystery Science Theater it and
Yeah. Yeah.
pop them up in the top corner.
Yeah. That would be perfect.
Okay.
They are the audience that Tim Curry is talking to.
Oh God, now I wanted that even more.
You're welcome. This is why you keep me. Occasionally, I have good ideas.
Oh, that's perfect. John approves of keeping Linda Cardellini as the token human. I do too. I think that's a good choice. Although you could make an argument for keeping, I think maybe Will Ferrell as the token human,
Yeah,
because he's
he's
the
easier.
one.
But
Because he's the one with the most probably comedic leaning in a comedy movie. So,
But that's also where Fozzie would fit really good.
oh, I get it. I'm just saying you could make an argument for it. I think your picks are good. Don't
Like
get
the
me
other
wrong.
option is leave Mark Wahlberg in, and then replace Linda Cardellini with Miss Piggy. But
Yeah, I get you. All right, very cool. Good choices, everybody. I
So-
approve. Did you come?
Serenity.
Oh, you have it. Okay, I'm
I
listening.
did. I like mad dashed. Okay, so if we keep Alan Tudyk as Wash, I would like to take Zoe and make her Janice.
Okay.
From
Okay.
Mhm.
I kind of went the easy route with having Kermit be Mal, because why not? Which then makes Inara Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
Which I could also see Miss Piggy being super fancy like Inara.
Yeah.
I put Sweetums in the role of Jane.
Yes.
I took Simon and River and made them Scooter and Skeeter.
Mhm.
Yes, yells yes from the other room. Oh my goodness! I'm guessing that yes was about Sweetums being Jane. But anyway, and then I decided that the preacher needed to be Pepe, the king prawn.
Yes, you are married.
I was really, really struggling with trying to figure out who to have be Keely. Because nobody can replace Jewel. So, depending on how far into the Muppetverse we want to go.
What about the band lady?
Janice is already Zoe.
Oh.
So I was thinking we could do the gender swap and have Kaylee be Gonzo.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which I think would fit. But if we went further out of the main cast of the Muppets and went with Fraggles, I feel that Red Fraggle, the main character Fraggle girl, could totally be Kaylee. What?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yeah, I think next time if we do this again, or I should say when we do this again, because this is totally going to happen again. We need to make sure that we open it up to Sesame Street Muppets and the Fraggle Muppets, anything that's a Muppet / puppet with
Dark Crystal Muppets.
Counts. It's a Henson creation.
Henson Studios, Jim Henson Associated, or Disney Henson Associated.
Bear in the Big Blue House. Oh, this is going to be good. All right. We all have to poop sometimes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to go watch that episode of Bear in the Big Blue House. Just type it into your Google search. You will thank me later, literally.
Okay. I'm afraid.
It's a kid's show. When my kids were growing up, we used to watch Bear in the Big Blue House all the time.
Yeah, I've heard of it. So.
And there was a little mouse named Tutter, and Bear is trying to teach him how to play games, but like little kids do, they don't always want to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
They want to stay and play their games, and they have accidents, and Bear's trying to keep them from having an accident because Tutter's doing a little Tutter jig. And he just looks at him and goes, "It's okay, Tutter. We all have to poop sometimes." And when my kids were little, I literally spit my coffee out. I was laughing so hard because I did not expect that to come across the TV. And ever since then, we'll be on family trips. We'll be driving down the road, and somebody's like, "Dad, I got to go to the bathroom." Well, we all got to poop sometime. So.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
My kids love that, by the way.
I'm sure, since your youngest is 16.
16, yeah. She loves me telling stories about her bathroom habits. So,
poor girl.
Yeah, she's got me. So, I still watch Bear in the Big Blue House. Thank you very much. It's on Disney Plus right now. You're welcome.
You can use Our Tiny Human as an excuse anytime you need to, Tim.
Sweet. All right, very good. Hey, just real quick before we get into, we're coming close to the end of our hour, and we have so enjoyed having our friends here to help us go through a few things and have some laughs, and hopefully you guys got some laughs out of this too. But just on a serious note, real quick, we've been working with Kitty Swink and Armin Shimmerman of both of Star Trek fame, and we've been working with Jonathan Frakes and John Billingsley. They're all working together for the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network, and also known as PanCan. And I bring this up because we've been working with them to try and help raise money and awareness for about pancreatic cancer and to fight cancer. There's an awful lot that has to go on with this, but they're raising money, and there's a pancreatic cancer walk that goes on the 29th, and we're trying to raise money up until that point. Now, what they did is they provided us with some really cool stuff, and it's processing, and here we go. So, like this is a Jonathan Frakes signed picture. This is available. There's Chase Biggs. There's Kitty Swink. This is what's left out of everything. This item here. This is a pan can water bottle that's been signed by Armin, by Bob Picardo, by John Billingsley, Jonathan Frakes, Armin Shimmerman, Kitty Swink,
Wow.
Chase Masterson, Nana Visitor, a whole bunch more, and Terry Farrell. And you can see the signatures here on this hat. This is also available. You can either bid on them or you can buy them now with the link. Well, actually, that's the wrong link. But this link is if you want to just if you don't want any of the merch, but you want to help a good cause. I'm putting a link in the comments right now. It's got a lot of letters and everything to it, but if you take it there, that takes you right to PanCan's website. You can make a donation directly to them, and if you do it by the 29th, you'll know that you're helping all these Star Trek actors raise money for Trek Against Cancer. And it's especially important because Kitty Swink is a 19-year survivor of pancreatic cancer, which only has an 11% success rate for
It
people
was-
being able.
It was
was
worse when she had it.
Yeah, it was 3% when Kitty had pancreatic cancer, and so the fact that she's alive is a miracle. And so we're trying to do all that we can to help them out. But if you do want the merch, here is the link for that, and this will also be down in the show notes below. But you can see that right there at eBay with Bridgeworks Studios, and you guys can bid on this awesome merch. There's also a buy it now there, so if you don't want to mess around with the bidding process, you can just click the buy it now, and 100% of your purchase price goes to PanCan. As a matter of fact, if you click that link, I'm going to put this up on the screen just real quick. Once I get to the page and all that stuff. So this is what we've done so far, and right there, that's what we've done so far. We have raised over $1,000 to help through the purchase of everything. $1,084. We have a couple other items that have recently sold, and so that number will go up by this Friday. So very proud that we've had the opportunity to work with the Star Trek community and doing something so clearly beneficial, but B, also thrilled that you guys, if you do buy this, you get some really cool merch out of the deal as well, and something that's going to be highly collectible for the years to come. So consider it. If you guys can donate, fantastic. Even if it's just $5 a person adds up very, very quickly. And I mentioned $5 because $5 is the lowest amount that PanCan's system is able to accept. So
Star Wars has saved the whales, and now they're saving pancreases.
Star Trek, but yes.
Yeah, that's
The thing that he meant.
It's a thing. Well, there in his defense, there are also space whales in Star Wars, so it's a thing. Easily confusable.
No one
All
in
right.
Star Wars has died from pancreatic cancer.
Not that we're aware of. All right, guys, before we wrap this up real quick, Sarah, remind everybody where people can find you and where they can check you out at.
It would help if I wasn't muted again. Again,
Possible.
I'm Sarah Rhea-Werner. Thank you again for having me on the show. If people want to find me, just go out to sarahwerner.com. That's SARAHWERNER.com. You can also connect with me over on the dumpster fire that is Twitter. And or you can listen to, I have 2 podcasts. You can listen to Right Now with Sarah Werner. That's WRITE because puns and also writing. And Girl in Space, which is my sci-fi audio drama. So I look forward to connecting with the rest of your audience on the internet.
Excellent. And there's a lot of discussion about cheese, but it doesn't make it cheesy. All right. Anyway,
Yes.
all right. Danielle, please share where people can find you.
Oh, okay. So Danielle Pajak. You can find me on my website, dpillustrations.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at Sayadina Heresy. Sayadina, Sayyaydina Heresy. Yeah.
Okay. And that Twitter handle is down in the show notes below, so people will be able to find that. And the same for Sarah. Your Twitter handle is in the show notes as well. So I strongly suggest
Thank
you
you.
guys check out both of our guests tonight. They both have awesome stuff out there that they're putting out into the world. And we're so thrilled that they both said yes. All right, Nick, start us on the wrap up.
And last Friday, we aired our interview with an indie film director, Brett Smith, the director of a critically acclaimed and film festival winning Freedom's Path, a movie set in the Civil War era of the United States, and shares the story of a soldier who deserted from battle. He soon discovers the true cost of war through a young, heroic black man who teaches him the real meaning of freedom.
You can find that episode. That episode is still up on our YouTube channel, our website, and your favorite audio podcast providers. And remember that your subscription to our YouTube channel is a major help. So please don't forget to click like and subscribe and the little notification bell so that your phone goes off all the time when we annoy you with videos.
Right.
Yes. Do all the fun things.
Exactly. All right, so that was last Friday. This upcoming Friday, we have Julianne Grossman. She's an outstanding voice actor. Julianne has some really cool IMDb credits on her resume. Credits like being the voice of the ship's computer on Star Trek Discovery. She is Etta Candy in DC's animated Wonder Woman. She was also in Spaceballs, the animated series. She has been in Star Wars, The Old Republic, Justice League Action, another animated DC series where she played Wonder Woman's mother, Hippolyta. And there's a ton of other things that she has done. And we talk about all of that, how she got in the business, how she, her methods of acting, all that kind of stuff. And we just had a great time with her. And that will come out this Friday morning. But of course, if you are a Patreon subscriber, you don't have to wait until Friday. You could hear this awesome interview on Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, that's right. You get early access with actually most of the levels of our Patreon page. So you can watch it or listen to it early on Patreon, or if you'd rather wait with all the rest of everybody else, you can wait till Friday, of course. But yeah. But that's what's coming this week, and it's a really cool interview with a great voice actress. So,
I personally will be waiting till about Tuesday.
In other words, he's finishing the editing of it on Tuesday. So, anyway, Danielle, thank you. Sarah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
This has been a lot of fun, and we're really glad to have you guys on the show. And like I said, go check these guys out on Twitter. And if you thought Sarah's comments and things were great tonight, I bet you'd really even enjoy our interview that we did with her, which is episode 4 of the episode. I can't even say my own show name. The FSF PopCast. We'll get there. It used to be the funny science fiction podcast. We are now the FSF PopCast because we're crazy like that. But anyway, go check that out. You can find that on our YouTube channel, episode number 4, numero 4. It's good times.
Before the cool intro.
Before the cool intro. That's right. Back when it was just
co-host.
Before the cool co-host. You know what? It's just before we were cool. Okay. Sarah took great pity on us and decided to come and talk with us anyway. So we really appreciated your time.
It was a delight. The pleasure was mine.
She's very good at lying too, so I appreciate that.
Gosh.
All right, guys, that's going to conclude us tonight for the FSF PopCast. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Hey, that helps if I know where the video is. And here we go. We're leaving now. Maybe. Okay, let's try it again. Here we go. On behalf of the rest of the hosts of the FSF PopCast, we want to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on a future episode, please contact us by means of Twitter or Instagram using the handle @FSF PopCast. Or go to www.fsfpopcast.com and click on the contact link. Thanks again, and hope you enjoyed the episode.